you ready to discover who you came here to be? Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. Human Design is a system and a tool that is here to empower you and show you your greatest potential. Come learn with us and discover who you really are.
Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. And this is the podcast you've been waiting for. Hello, I'm Krystle, 1-3 Sacral Generator. I am a rising Capricorn, Sagittarius Sun, and an Aries Moon.
And I'm Leah. I am a 2-4 Splenic Projector, Aquarius Sun, Taurus Moon, Libra Rising. And we're back.
We're back. It is, I'm like, am I ever going to get used to this?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I definitely prefer it. That's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this new format has made me realize how much I do not have to be a workhorse.
Yeah.
That's what generators have been conditioned to do. To just be constantly doing. I mean, we've all been conditioned in some sort of way, and all the types kind of have their own thing with that. But generators feel like if I'm not doing something consistently, then nobody sees me.
Yeah.
People will forget about me. So, yeah, realizing that's not true. Not true. So welcome. If you are new here, we were just talking about our new format that we've been doing for, I don't know, the last couple of months, something like that, something along those lines. And so if you're new here, welcome. This is a podcast for a bunch of weirdos. We talk about a lot of weird shit on this place, also curse. So leave your kids in the other room.
Explicit button for a reason.
Yeah, I probably curse less than I used to. I feel like I used to curse more. I don't know.
It might depend on the subject. Yeah, it depends on if you're getting heated or not.
It definitely depends on the subject. And excuse me, I have a little bit of a cough from my kids.
That's not nice. No sharing.
So I can't spread that on here. But if you are new here, this particular episode, when you see the program show up, we are talking about the energy for 2 weeks. So we do 2 weeks of an energy update through the transits, through human design, astrology, and tarot. And so we call it the program because that's what we live in. This is an assimilation. This is each week we travel through a new program. I like to say almost like a new episode. Is it going to be a drama, a comedy, a dramedy, a thriller? Who knows? Who knows what it's going to be? Other than when you watch the transits, you're like, oh, I see a little drama happening for the next 2 weeks. So definitely hold on to your butts. Okay.
Your roots.
Yeah. Hold on to your roots. Yeah. With your butt. Hold on to your butts. There's a lot. There's going to be a lot of root pressure that I'm not interested in. And we're also, the two of us, because we also both have gate 60, the gate of limitation, which today, the day that we're recording it, we transition into the next nodal axis, which right. I'm not looking forward to this nodal axis.
No.
Because it's going to supply a root pressure for a few months of we get the nodes in the gates. I mean, it's longer we're also transitioning at the end of July into the next astrology for the nodes. So, I already feel it. I've been feeling it for honestly the last few weeks. I'm starting to feel out what all of this is happening, because we are going to be really the two of us, and anyone that has gate 60, because we're having gate 3 come in to the north node. And so we're going to be feeling a lot of, I already feel a lot of childhood shit is going to come to the surface for us to address. This is all about moving through limitations and roadblocks for a lot of this next storyline. And especially if you have Gate 60 or you have the full 360 channel, you too are probably going to be the most impacted. I'm not saying that the rest of you aren't. It also depends on where things are transiting for you as well. There's many different ways to personalize this, but I know for myself, I might have a breakdown. I'm already feeling it. And I'm just preparing myself to not attach, or at least the trying of not attaching. Whatever.
That's the hard part. But we're also like humans. So, and we have feelings and emotions, and like it's when you're in it, but we are like, because we know this, we're aware this is also a transit, So like, yes, I'm feeling these things, but it's also temporary for now. And it's something to help us work through and push through, or like navigate that sort of thing together, I guess.
Yeah, we are navigating it together.
Yeah.
Some of us in different ways because we're all individuals. So, but I think the reason why I love the transit so much is because I can not attach to it. Like maybe I will to an extent because again, we're human, we have feelings, we have emotions, but I feel like since I've understood the transits for the last few years, they don't take me under. Like I used to get taken under and not know why. Like when things like this happen, big transits come in where all of a sudden you're trying to, all these childhood traumas come up for you and you're like, where the fuck did this come from? Why is this coming up? And circumstances arise because the transits are trying to push us to grow. That's what the transits are all about. It's all about evolution. And so I don't want to evolve.
Yeah, right. Change is scary.
Change is scary. And that channel is all about change. It's the beginning of the format. And there's a lot of melancholy and depression that lives in that channel. I remember feeling more into that route when I was younger as a kid, because we were more into the material world as a kid, right? And just like, man, okay.
Yeah. Here we are. Well, I mean, that would be interesting to know from like other people. I guess maybe like if you're listening, like you could let us know if you're experiencing that kind of situation. Not situation, but like if you're feeling like the same sort of like energy, like if you're feeling that pressure, like it would be cool to hear from listeners.
When you say pressure, do you want to be a little bit more specific?
Do I want to be more specific? Like,
we all feel pressure. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What are you trying to say? Come on, 4323.
I know, right? Where did that come from? Let's see. I would say like, I picture it as being like pressure to like break through some sort of boundary or barrier that like has been holding you back. Like there's some sort of, not even like a veil, but maybe there's some sort of limitation that you've been putting on yourself that's needs to kind of be broken through. So like, breaking through that specific barrier, like I'm not going to sit in this particular feeling any longer. Like it doesn't serve me anymore. So I feel like there's this constant pressure, I guess, to like work on something because I'm seeing it in situations so often right now. So maybe life is showing me, the universe is showing me that I need to work through something instead of ignoring it. That's
what's going to definitely happen. Something's going to come up.
And it's like,
you have to finally address this now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I know for myself, like I'm just doing a lot of like just inner searching and that kind of stuff. So it's like I'm just kind of navigating my area of life right now and figuring out what that looks like for me. So it's not like anything that's like negative. I just know that I'm working on like some stuff that's come around a few times that I need to work on instead of ignoring it.
Yeah. And it seems like this next week or this week that we're going to first start talking about, it's really asking us to like just be, like
Mhm.
not take a lot of action for the first week that we're going to talk about, because there's a lot of stuff that's going to be arising in us that we kind of need to address. And a lot of times we distract ourselves by doing, right? And so the first week, it's going to be like, hey, all these weird feelings you've been having, maybe, I don't know, take a little deeper look and maybe just like create some space. And then
Mhm.
the next week, things are changing. It's like, okay, you're going to probably feel like a new person because after the full moon,
Yeah.
Capricorn, that we're going to be having, which that I feel more excited for is full moon Capricorn, because there's something that wants to like purge. And I feel like that's what's going to happen during full moon Capricorn. So then like we can just be a new person again, because I don't know, this new moon Gemini did not do me any favors. I don't know about you, but a lot came up around my shoulder
Mhm.
and just like wounding, because the only placement that I have Gemini in is my Chiron.
Mm.
So I'm just kind of like, okay, these things are coming up for me. So like I'm just kind of at the point where I keep saying like these old storylines, like, no, I don't know more. Like I get what the whole point has been this entire time. And I understand that it's probably going to be something throughout my life that I'm going to constantly be addressing in some capacity, but we can move on from this particular point. Like I think we're ready to like, up level. Like I feel
Yeah.
like I'm kind of like in this, like gate 46 is kind of like take 3 steps forward and then 2 steps back. Like you just feel like you're back in the same place again, you know? And that's
Mhm.
kind of what I feel like. Like I feel like I've made so much growth this last year, especially these last 6 months, but I now feel like I'm back at the same place again with a lot of the things. And I'm just like, no, I think we have, like, we don't realize that we really do create our own reality. There's obviously things, like, especially through the cosmos, that are out of our control, but we can also say, no,
Yeah.
that's not the reality that I want to live in anymore. And I'm going to make the shifts and changes and also say, this isn't real. Like, this is not true. Like, my transferred personal wants me to be small. And I keep telling her, you don't know what you're talking about. There's way more for you. And you need to just like let the body take over now. Like, I know
Mhm.
you want to help and you want to control because you know you feel like you don't have a voice. I feel like a lot of our inner workings is that they feel like they're not being heard. Like all of our centers are voices, and I hear them talking all the time. And I think so much people feel these weird or sensations or whatever, and they don't understand, but it's all the energy centers trying to express themselves in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I might have to think about what that looks like for myself because, like, I forget sometimes because I'm a projector, I forget to look at my own my
Yeah.
own chart, and I'm
Well,
just like,
yeah, you're
oh,
more here
yeah,
for the other though.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I feel like I feel like projectors, you need to know yourself enough, like more so through how other people have viewed you and expressed to you how you are. That's really the only way you guys know, because your energy doesn't go in, it's out,
yeah,
it's projected.
yeah,
So don't ever beat yourself up that you're like, I feel like projectors sometimes beat themselves up a little bit. I don't really fully know who I am. And it's like, well, that's not really the point. I know that it's like, we want to know ourselves, and yes, you should know yourself, but through the other. That's how you know yourself, is through the other. For me, it's a very personal experience. Like the generator is really here to know themselves on the deepest level so that they could actually share and expand their gifts with others. If they don't know themselves on the deepest level, they're not going to be able to build properly. There needs to be an internal foundation happening there. So, but I'm always like, do I have to know anymore?
So tired of knowing things.
I feel like I know enough, like I get it.
Yeah. I like take a little break ski from that.
I feel like this week that we're going to talk about first, I think I'll do a lot of nothing. And I say that loosely because we know that I don't know how to do nothing. And I also have my mom coming into town. So there's not always a lot of nothing when she comes into town, because it's going to be Milo's birthday on the 2nd, because he's a Cancer. And welcome to Cancer season. You guys, I'm sure you guys know at this point. But yeah, Cancer season is fucking emotional.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously water sign, but it's like, I feel like the floodgates opened like after new moon Gemini.
Man, this past weekend, well, since we're recording, it was the weekend of like the Father's Day weekend. Yeah. That emotional wave that came in. My 8-year-old, I swear she was a completely different person.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy cow. Like, it was so insane watching her experience that at like a whole new level. And because she doesn't usually have a lot. She's a manifesting generator. She has the money channel and probably a couple others that I'm not remembering, but she's sacral, and she doesn't usually have a whole lot of like ups and downs. She's very neutral. She's always very happy. And oh man, it was rough.
Yeah.
And then my little emotional projector, who has 2 waves anyway, all the time, she was just like, the heck is going on? And then she's like, she doesn't care. And I was just like, oh my God, we got swallowed. It was crazy.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm just like, can we please, for the love of the cosmos and above, get the fuck out of gate 36 in Neptune? And it's about to go retrograde, guys. So the answer is no. The answer is no. And that's and it's at, the beauty is it's so annoying because it's at the last line, like the last place, and then it's like, just kidding, we're going backwards, guys. And that's what happens with, like, whenever something goes into Neptune, be prepared for life. That you're living in that gate for life. So I'm just like waiting for the day gate 37 goes into there, because I will just be like, nobody will want to be around me, because I, like, right now as the 37 is in Saturn, which it'll soon be out through the backwards motion, and then it'll come back in, and I think it's January, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. But I can't handle it. Like, it's connected to my core wound. And it's just really bringing up a lot of, like, all I have to do is just say aloneness, and I can just cry immediately, because that's just how I feel. Like, nothing, like, and it's like, I keep trying to tell myself, well, maybe this and this and this is not working right now or whatever, but you have your actual family. And I'm like, and like, that's where, like, I'm like, you're not, like, I know that you're telling yourself you're alone in like certain aspects, but you're not actually alone. Like, I can cry just thinking about it now.
Yeah. Well, it's been a tough thing for you to experience, that's been something you've been working on really hard.
Well, my whole life.
Your whole life. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, this is why people need to know about the transits, because I would think there's something very wrong with me right now that I feel this way, and it just needs to happen and come up. And eventually I'll move past it. Just not today.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm going to stop crying and we're going to get into the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Lots of pressure, guys. I mean, like lots of all the pressure gates in the root are coming in.
What's the song? Under. Dun, 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 dun. Can we change it up and change up the mood? Let's do some ice. Wait, no.
Wait, that's not the right song.
That's not the right song.
I was like, you had me and then you lost me.
Oh my God.
Okay, I needed to laugh.
Yeah, it just needed to do something so weird that it changed the whole energy of what was just happening. Alrighty.
Like the song Under Pressure.
Yes, that's it.
I don't remember the rest of the words.
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself now.
It's fine. No, Hi friends, Krystle here. New year and new you, and boy, do we have some new tools for you to help you transform your life into the one you have always dreamed of. We have some new ways for you to connect with us outside of the show. So we have a free guide on tips and tricks to honoring your strategy and authority. We also have a language manual to your true self to help you understand the key terms in human design and how to apply them to reading your human design chart and also to your life. And we are so happy to announce doors are now open for the Cosmic Community, which is a no commitment or 5-month commitment package to connecting with us over in our private Facebook group. You will have the chance to connect with Leah and myself each month with our premium episodes through our Program Plus monthly forecast. There's also weekly aura energy updates, weekly tarot card pulls connected to a human design gate, monthly market shares for fellow entrepreneurs to share their work, and exclusive bonus content you will not be getting anywhere else from us. Come join the Cosmic Community to understand how to utilize the transits to your advantage and have a safe space to learn, grow, and connect. And we also have our children's class called Nurture Your Child Through Their Design. And our most popular classes are our variable mini classes, which are bite-sized, self-paced audios and guidebooks on the first 2 transformations. And if you want to stay connected with some education and love from us, join our email list and check out our website, which you can find that and every offer I just discussed down below in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you over on our next episode. Anyways, let's talk about it. Okay, so we've entered into Cancer season. Obviously, with me crying, that's just, you may be crying too. I don't know, but it's going to be an emotional time, and it's going to be an emotional pressure time, okay, for these next 2 weeks. So we kick off the week of, what is it? The 26th, right? The week of the 26th. With a focus on stillness. Okay, so this is what I was just talking about. So this will be a week to concentrate and focus, but maybe have a temporary settling or unwinding. Okay, like create some space and see what arises from that. And what's going to help us do that is what's grounding us, which is a little more pressure. Okay, it's all pressure. It's all about the pressure. You might feel the pressure with both of these energies, but this one is asking what needs to be shifted and changed in your life. I feel like I'm already there for you guys. I've been integrating that for you this week. So in order to know what to shift, sometimes we have to allow space. So allow this week, at least the beginning to mid, to just settle and see what comes up. Okay. Don't make a lot of plans if you can. If you already have, then it is what it is. But just know that maybe you need to create a little bit of space, okay? And we're also now in a new storyline, as we were just talking about, with the nodes. And we're on the roof looking at what ways do we want to leave behind, how we have been nurtured in the past that maybe wasn't correct for us or maybe needs a reframe. And maybe somehow past traumas or challenges, especially from our childhood, that might come up during this nodal access. This is just a time to watch, and we will slowly discover that storyline over time. So Neptune goes retrograde on Friday, which, if you don't know, the summer is a time for retrogrades. That's like the biggest time of reflection is during the summer. And Neptune is the planet of delusion and illusion. It's a very spiritual planet, but it's almost like you have to be able to see between the fog. Okay. And with a retrograde, Neptune's very elusive and like ethereal, I feel like. And so right now, as we go retrograde on Friday, things might get a little cloudy. Things might feel like your past experiences and stories might be coming up that it's time to address. The planets know what the fuck they're doing. Okay. They're bringing us back to our past with this new nodal access. And then they're like, and now Neptune's here to like make things a little bit more, I don't even know what the right word, make things a little bit more elusive, less tangible. You might feel like you can't quite put your finger on it or hold it. That's kind of the energy of what this is going to be about. So the first week that we're talking about is really a week of reflection on our old stories and ways we once were, a time of that we need to maybe correct what is no longer serving us. That's going to really be the theme of this first week, correcting what is no longer serving us. A lot of stuff might come up to the surface, and it's time to address, because as we move towards full moon Capricorn, that's the time you're going to want to release all this stuff. So on Saturday, which is July 1st, hard to believe we're already moving into July, we enter into a new program with the focus on provoking. Whenever this gate or channel comes in, this is where I get a little nervous because people tend to be a little mean. I'm just going to say it during this time. I always see it coming in. That's usually a time that I try to keep to myself. So now this energy I call the hot poker, because whether aware or unaware, it likes to mess with people. It just does. It's really about from the highest expression of this particular energy, it's about waking people up. And sometimes you got to poke somebody, right? And so this is really about waking people up and liberation, and can feel triggered with emotions because it's a pressure that's reaching for the solar plexus. And it's just important to have awareness to watch your words. This is always this, whenever this energy comes in, it's important to be watching your words, including myself, because I can be a fucking bitch. And I will be watching my words during this time. And also, another thing that I need to try to do is not take things personally, because I have transferred personal, and this is a time when people say shit and you're like, fuck you. Okay. So there's going to be potential for a lot of fuck yous. But if you have the awareness around it, maybe it's just like, okay, maybe they're having a bad day. All right. Like we might have to say that a few times to ourselves about people during this time. Or maybe, we'll be in the highest expression where you get to actually have full communication on these places. It all depends on your awareness and also where the other person's at as well, if this involves a relationship. So what's grounding us is maybe the desire or need to fight. This program really whenever this program comes in, I'm always like, okay, you keep quiet. Like bite your tongue a little bit, Krystle. So this is really about individual integrity with this particular frequency. And no matter what anyone or anything throws at you, you can handle it. Even in challenges, it's going to be a time to stand your ground. And so what I just said there, you want to hold that because that's going to be the energy in the full moon. Okay. So this week, the first week, it's really the next 2 weeks, it's all about pressure, to wait and to move when it feels right, and to be a little bit empathetic to not only your own needs, but also others. Okay. So be careful with your words, give yourself a break at the beginning of the week, and let's move in to the next week now. Let's move into the next week. So we start off the next week on July 3rd, okay, with full moon Capricorn, okay? I'm ready to release. I don't know about you, but so full moons are all about completions and releases. It's a completion of the seeds you planted during new moon Capricorn. So where were you 6 months ago? Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign and has a strong standing and is if you think about it, the symbolism is the mountain goat, okay? Trying to climb its tallest mountain. A very ambitious sign, this Capricorn is. So see where you have Capricorn in your natal and where it's transiting for you. For me, I'm a rising Capricorn. That's where I have Capricorn in my chart. So I'm going to be shedding some identities. That's what really looking at where you have these placements in your chart will help you personalize these new moon and full moons and the transits as well. So for me, it's going to all be about releasing an old identity. And you know what? I'm fucking ready, as I was just talking about to you guys earlier. So this activation for this full moon in human design has everything to do with what we were just talking about happening in the earth. To stand in your integrity and to be tenacious. Maybe you've been going through some struggles, and this is the time during this full moon that you will finally let go. In the end, this full moon wants to ask, what is worth fighting for? And for me, the answer has been not a lot because I only have gate 28 and I'm not here to struggle. So maybe you're not either. So maybe it's time to end the fight on something that you've been pushing for so long that's not really serving you. So ask yourself, what is actually serving me right now and what is not? And what is not needs to be released during this full moon. Okay. So let's move to Friday. Friday, we get a new program on readiness. I feel once this energy comes in, I feel like a lot of shifts and changes might happen for all of us. I felt it as I was typing this out. So if you remember from last week that we just talked about, we were at a standstill, right? And figuring out what really needed to be changed. Now it's about starting something new. You see how the program works? Now that we have had the full moon, it's time to start fresh. It's always time to start fresh after a full moon, but this particular energy is saying a new cycle. New things are starting. This particular energy always goes through a beginning, middle, and end. It's constantly doing this, constantly on a rotation. And so we are reaching that energy right now. And it's all for a reason, because it's going to be a time to really start again. So now that we've had the full moon, it's time to start fresh. So what do you want to start during this program? And what's grounding us is going to be our ambition. I am very excited about the end of this because I am a very ambitious person and I am ready to take things to the next level. And I think it's going to be during this time. So this is the drive to expand and climb the social ladder. So a great time to begin again, start something new, and create the next chapter of your life. So, and that's about it. That's mostly what's happening. It's a lot of pressure coming in for these 2 weeks, and if you're a defined root, most likely you'll be able to handle it. Most likely you'll actually probably enjoy it because you guys work well under pressure. Us open undefined roots, anxiety is going to happen. Anxiety is going to happen. And things are going to come up that you're not going to maybe want to fully address, but I think the transits are going to be here to support us in this, and it's something we're going to have to work through. So grab your butts, open undefined roots. Okay. That's it.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, now we know.
Yeah.
I'll get my seat ready.
I think the end of what I just talked about, that'll feel better for a lot of people. So it's like what I like doing for doing 2 weeks is we really get to see the storyline play out. Totally. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, the cards support everything you said as usual. So for the first week that you said June 26th, I pulled the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is about relationships. It's also about taking actions, going through barriers, challenges, like literally everything that we're going to be seeing through the transits. The Knights are action oriented. So this is it's not necessarily about taking action immediately.
Yeah.
But thinking, what actions do I need to take? What do I need to do to move through those barriers? The pressure that we've been talking about, breaking through any sort of challenges, it's not impossible. It's just, we need to figure out, what does that look like in your life, in your situation, to move through that, and to trust in yourself mostly, because that's the only person that you can trust is you. And other people will be there with you, but you also, have to know that there's going to be people that are going to be with you and help you through it. There's going to be people that are going to shift away, and that's okay. It's just part of the whole relationship world that we live in now with humans. But it can also bring out the best in you. So, allowing yourself to think, how am I navigating this, and recognizing yourself for taking those next steps. It could also be like new relationship. It could be new romance. It could be, some sort of, you're finding that there's a new venture, some sort of new idea, new creative path. It could be multiple different things there. What was I going to say? Oh, some keywords for this are offers, dreams, illusion, imagination, fantasy, love, and infatuation. So that's that one. Oh, I was going to do, okay. And then for these, so I did one card for each. I don't know why I'm stuttering on my words. For the first week, still, I'm doing the soul's journey, and this is the first card is called acceptance. Let me show it to you again.
I need that card. That's actually like the theme, part of the theme of Gate 60 is really acceptance. So
here we go. So it says, I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Right now, your soul is learning acceptance. This may force you to feel out of control in a situation or with another person in your life. Just realize that the universe has given you this incredible opportunity to release control. Perhaps doing so will help you realize that there is a rhythm, a rhyme, or a reason to everything in life. Rather than thinking that these are accidents that are occurring, refer to these conditions as moments of divine design. Ooh, I like that. Maybe it is a person or a situation that you do not agree with right now. For the moment, instead of having a knee-jerk reaction based on an emotional response, stop, step back, observe, and take an attempt to understand both sides of the equation, which is an incredible gift for you to practice tolerance, grace, and patience. Realize that although you have come to accept a situation or a condition, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are condoning a behavior or that you support it. That you see it for what it is, and recognize that there is something rich to learn from it.
Yeah.
I love that. Divine design.
Divine
Ooh.
design. You need to use that for something.
I know. Hang on to that. Okay. So for week 2, week of July 3rd, where did my card go? Where did it go? Here it is. I pulled the 2 of Wands. And the 2 of Wands is about action, but it is also about controlled action and not having to do things right now as well. So I feel like those are both kind of in this like action state, but also like a not going into like surging straight forward into something right away. So contemplating what the direction that you want to go in. And I think you said this too, is like we know that there's a new path forward. We know there's like a new something that can be shifting or coming down the line for you, and just like trusting in the direction that that's going to go in, and allowing yourself to kind of flow in that energy, find inspiration if you need to. This could be about partnership. It also could be a work-life balance, or, we say harmony more so than balance, I think, on here, because balance is kind of one of those tricky words. But harmony, like, what does that look like for you? Maybe it's just you're easing back on one thing and you're doing a little bit more of another. And checking out in your life, like, what is it that needs more harmony right now? And allowing yourself, this is a very sacral card. What is it that brings you joy right now? What is something that brings you joy and happiness? And he's holding the world here in his hand. So like, we all have access to whatever we want to bring into our life. And we've said that a lot too. So the lesson card that goes with this is self-esteem. And it says, I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. It is easy to perceive others as being better than you, and that's a trap of the ego. There is no one greater or no one less than you. There are only those who have learned how to reveal their gifts to a greater or a lesser degree. Everyone is born with a unique ability of the soul, and just like snowflakes, there are no two that are ever alike. You have a unique perspective to share with the world and have come back to this time to put your stamp on it. Perhaps you may not be aware or even in tune with your incredible and gifted self. Why not try and make a list of 10 aspects of yourself or abilities that you possess, that you love and you hold in your highest regard? It is not always easy to write about yourself, but sometimes you need to be reminded just how special that you really are. Remember that you did not come down to this schoolroom by accident. You have meaning, you have reason for being. You are a treasure chest of incredible gifts and insights, and now is the time to celebrate you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I needed all those cards.
You're welcome. I just pulled them for you anyway.
They're always for me. They're always just for me, guys. Everything's about me. I'm an Aries moon and a 1-3. Everything is about me. Yep. I'm just kidding. That's not.
No, but I mean, you definitely, I can see how the cards always come up with a theme that's goes in line with the transits, and is also something that we've been experiencing, and you particularly are experiencing personally. So yeah.
I just wish I had a Taurus moon like you. You know, I'm such a fucking hot mess in Taurus, and on my third line, it's just like together. It's like I can't help myself. I'm just always a little messy, like people, and like it, but it's an illusion to other people that don't know me, because people that first meet me, they're like, or people that don't know me too well, they're like, you seem really put together. I was like, are you on crack? Because my rising Capricorn. What it feels like right now. Everything's crap. Like, I just understand emotional so well when I'm in an emotional transit, because I'm like, if you told me right now that I like won the lottery or something, I'd be like, great. Like, I just like do not, like, nothing seems like there's like, I'm like Eeyore right now. Just that like clouds above my head. It's raining on me. It's also been raining here every single day.
Yeah, which doesn't help.
Not great for my dry kitchens.
Mm-mm.
So I just want to go outside so bad, but we can't. And it's just, I guess I'm just supposed to, it's like my external is really in alignment with my internal.
Right. It's all crying.
All crying. Everything's crying. Very Cancer season.
Yeah.
So, anywho, again, hold on to your butts, and you've got this. Shit's gonna come up, especially with this new nodal axis. Shit's gonna come up for all of us. a really big way to like help move past a lot of this is asking yourself, what is no longer nurturing or nourishing my soul? And that's what's going to help you move past like some of the childhood stuff or past stuff. There's just going to be a lot of past stuff that's going to start coming up. It just is. So, but it's all for the better good.
Give yourself a lot of grace. Give yourself some extra time if you need to journal, meditate, take some time outside. I don't know.
Yeah. Or maybe none of this will happen to you. Maybe you're that person that's a Taurus moon like Leah. You never know. You think she's great all the time.
Yeah. I'll never tell you either.
I'm over here like when someone says like to an open throat, how are you doing? Well, how much time do you have?
Right. I'm just like, I'm fine. They're like, really? I'm like, yes. Look at my face. I'm fine.
I'm like, well, as a defined throat, they probably, maybe not, but they'd probably like move past it or just be like, maybe she's not, and just not care. I'm over here like, I know that you're not fine. Because it's
you see right through it.
I see right through it. I'm like, maybe it'd be easier if I didn't. I'm like, why couldn't I have a little buffer?
Yeah. I finished watching really quick. We finished watching Ted Lasso. You know how they say Oklahoma is like their tell me the truth word. It's like, be open with me. And I say, if they say Oklahoma, so like someone could just say that to me and I'd be like, oh, again, how much time do you have? You know?
Yeah. It's like, do you really want to know? That's why when somebody asks you, or how you doing? I'm fine. We all know that's not the answer. We all know that's not the answer. Even if you're great, you know, like, I mean, maybe then you might be a little bit more forthcoming. But no one's telling you if you're not. No one's telling you. So, but maybe, you know, as Neptune in 36 goes backwards, maybe it's time to reflect on a lot of these past experiences.
Yeah.
Communicate. Because that's the elixir, the other side. I feel.
For sure.
How do you feel? I feel like shit. So we're going to end on that. And you guys, you got your tools. Hopefully you do. Or if you don't, then, you know, find some ways, especially with your cognition, how you can help tap into that. Smells always help me. Aromatherapy always helps me with having smell cognition. My tonal resonance touch. I'm literally holding on to my tourmaline right now, just like I need a little grounding. So find some tools that are going to help you through maybe some challenges that you might be facing in the next few months. But we're upgrading. That's the benefit.
Yeah,
I think. All right. We'll see
luck.
you guys over on the next one. And we do have some bonus episodes that just happened. Go listen to our episode on psychedelics. And then we have another one coming up too. So stay tuned and we'll see you next one.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of our podcast on the Human Design and Astro Club. We hope you have found the information insightful and useful. If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving us a review and sharing it with your friends and family. We love to hear from our listeners, so feel free to reach out to us with any feedback, questions, or suggestions for future episodes. Until next time, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.